I got sick too.
You're welcome. Sharing is caring. Hi, I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Bakemonogatari, Season 1, Episode 13. We are watching Episodes 13, 14, and 15. We have them, and it's Bakemonogatari, so we need to watch them.
Yep.
Period. Last episode was beautiful. It was one of my favorite episodes of the series so far, which says something because I have a lot of favorite episodes of the series so far.
I was really happy to get Senjugahara and her opening again.
Yeah, true. I wonder if we're going to go back to TSUBASA at this point. Hanekawa.
Definitely.
Get part 3 as was hinted at in the outro of last episode.
So does that mean that we're going to get her OP?
I hope we do. I love her OP. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Look at the cat ears in the clouds.
Amazing.
Where are you biking to, Aragi? He's just enjoying his little bike ride, thinking about his date and his girlfriend.
Look at how happy he is.
Hachikuji!
No.
Yes.
Could today get any better?
Attack! She is so cute, I agree.
Good.
Deserved, 100%.
I don't know.
I mean, totally deserved. She should be angry.
I
But
mean,
you are. Bit my tongue.
you have to fill her in on Kambaru too.
Interesting way to start this episode. It just kind of happened. Personality and all the insults and everything.
Look at how flustered he is. Have you seen her somewhere, Hachikuji?
Are we friends? They could be friends. Donut!
She deserves donuts.
She was totally there. That was her. 100%. Yep.
Has Oshino left?
Didn't he say something ominous about Aragi needing to decide like what he would do if Oshino was gone? I wonder who that was. I'll look out. I'll be on the lookout.
God, his watch is so cool. I would love a watch that looks like that. Bye, Hachikuji.
It is Hanekawa's opening.
I love Hanekawa's opening so much.
I'm going into it now with that line from Aragi about like Hanekawa wouldn't like me.
How will this Shinobu development connect
I know.
to Hanekawa?
Because maybe Oshino is gone. Maybe we're gonna need his advice for something and he won't be there. That has to do with Hanekawa. If Black Hanekawa is about to come back and Oshino's gone.
Yeah. Or Shinobu's not around.
Or Shinobu's not around. Yep. The cat ear cloud, I love it.
Look at the PJs too, the cat PJs.
Hey, girlfriend. Humanitarianism. She gotta know what he means by that. She loves him for him, and she knows who he is.
Are perfect.
How kind.
I believe in her.
My voice actress is excellent! There's no way!
This is the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. You caught on
What
to
a
the same
trap
word
card.
I did. Look! He said yes! Oh! Cute. So why is she not at school? Are we wearing a hat because there's cat ears under there? Look at him like mid getting off his bike. Is that like someone airing out their like anime girl pillow on a balcony?
Well thought out. Perfect. Oh my goodness.
Look at her face! Headaches.
頭痛はもうないんだけど、荒木くん、ゴールデンウィークのことさ、私思い出したんだ。
Remembered.
なのか。いや、そうじゃないのかな。忘れてることがあるのを思い出したって。
There's something that I don't.
そうか。猫。
Cat.
猫なんだよね。そこは思い出した。
We were wondering what it meant with lines about her not remembering.
でも羽根川、僕をこうして呼び出したってことは思い出したってだけじゃ。
そうよ。
And you didn't just borrow Naruto's hat for nothing.
そう。だから荒木くんには押野さんのところへ案内してもらおうと思って。
会議に関しちゃ押野に頼りっぱなしだからな。最終的に丸投げにするにせよ、話の骨子は整理しておかないと。
そうだね。
頭痛、最近よくあるみたいなことを言ってたけれど、正確に
He's playing investigator. I love it. He is taking Oshino's role.
一昨日と昨日、両方荒木くんの前でだったけれど、本屋さんと学校の正門のところで頭痛は。
言えよその時。
ごめん。荒木くんに心配かけたくなかったし。猫に関するエピソード？
黒猫が目の前を横切ったとか、そういうレベルでいいんだけど。
5月27日、
We have a log.
聞いていたラジオ番組でラジオネーム大久保大輔さんのハガキが読まれていたけれど、それが何か関係あると思う？
Probably not.
漫画やアニメなんかでは気楽そうにもてはやされていますけれど、メイドっていうのは意外と大変な仕事なんですよ。
ってなんで僕がそんなハガキのフォローをしなくちゃならねえんだよ。そもそもよく考えてみりゃ、大熊猫は猫じゃなくて
It's a panda.
Oh.
そういえばそうだね。
他には？
他？
Yes, more cat-related things.
同じ番組でラジオネーム素振りをするそぶりさん。
No, about cat things.
あと素振りをするそぶりっていうラジオネームも素振りとそぶりが漢字で書いたら同じだっていう細かいシャレになってるから。
So it's a bad pun. Okay.
その番組
Kanji puns. Good for this show.
ラジオネームリンゴを剥いてある母さん。
Wouldn't it be lice?
友達と2人でレンタルビデオ店某連続ドラマの DVD を借りようとしたのですが、全13巻のうち8巻だけが他の人に借りられていたので、7巻までしか借りることができませんでした。
Tragic.
That's so sad.
蜂を止められている気分だよと言うと、友達は言いました。 今頃8巻を借りてる人は北総エンデルンだろう。8巻を借りてる人の方は血並べみたいだなんて思ってない。
確かにそれは面白い話だけど、ラジオの話はもういいんだよ。
Cats.
ともかくその帽子脱いでくれるか。
それは質問じゃない。
What if there's actually nothing under there and I have been tricked?
羽川様、帽子をこちらでお
In the same coat manner.
荒木くん、怒る。
You're making me angry! Oh.
怒れよ。
Get angry.
怒りたきゃいくらでも怒ればいい。僕にとってお前との友情よりもお前に恩返しをすることの方がずっと大事だ。
恩返しって何のことを言ってるの
Debt
よ。
more important than you being my friend.
それこそ荒木くんが一人で勝手に助かっただけなんでしょ。
それでも星野はそう言うかもしれないけれど、僕はお前に助けられたと思っている。お前は命の恩人だ。その結果だったら怒られても嫌われても我慢できるさ。
Very him.
我慢ね。荒木くんのくせに生意気だぞ。笑わないでよ。
It's just bad bedhead.
That's what I'm thinking.
Please be ears though, please. I want there to be cat ears under that hat.
You were right!
She looks so cute! Oh my god, I love cat ears. No, never! So cute.
なんで
I would also say thank you. Thank
It's
you for showing
interesting
me and
that they're
blessing me.
sprouting out without her becoming Black Hanekawa.
それならそれで
Right?
しようがある。よし。じゃあ星野のところに行くとしよう。
I thought that it just she became it just suddenly and then would return to normal.
じゃあ後ろに。では行くぞ。柔らかい。
Look how tall his hair is. You're gonna make her angry.
話があるからね。
じゃあ出発します。
いろんな人のいろんな面倒を見なく
He
ちゃい
wants
け
to
な
take care
く
of so many
い
people.
ろんな人？
戦場ヶ原さんとか弥生ちゃんとかカンバルさんとか昨日の戦国ちゃんとか女の子ばっかし。
うるせえよ。
全部怪異絡みだったんだね。思い出した。戦場ヶ原さん、そんな急に病気治ったり
Yeah.
するわけがない。
Unless it was something so
春
magical.
休みに荒木くんが吸血鬼に襲われ
Getting attacked by a vampire let him
あそこか
help.
ら全部が始まったんだ。
Oh, cool. We're getting
Like
words as,
crab.
like from last episode.
Lost cow.
ある日突然現れたわけじゃないらしいけどな。
吸血鬼の特性の一つなんだけどね。魅了って言って吸血鬼は人間
あー
を虜にしちゃうんだ。
So he's just, that's why he has a harem.
ものなのかな。その目で見つめることによって異性を虜にするのよ。
Seeing Shinobu's eye.
ここのところ荒木くんが女の子にモテモテなのはそういうのも関係してるのかなって。ごめんね。今私意地悪なこと言ったよね。
むしろ納得したくらいだぜ。なるほど魅了ね。お前は何でも知ってるな。
何でもは知らないわよ。
I know what I know.
何でもは
Ooh.
何にも。
I don't know anything.
That's big.
それに委員長ちゃんだよね。
What
So
are we
when we
burning?
saw him earlier, it was literally like
そ
live
のメガネは間
feed.
違いなく委員長ちゃんだ。荒木くんならともかく委員長ちゃんがサボタージュってのは考えにくいね。あ、噂に聞く創立記念日ってやつか。
あ、その違います。
帽子似合うね。
Piece it together.
その帽子。
Oshino's so cool.
はい。
そういうことかい。荒木。
Oh, the music
I
changed.
love
散歩歩けば
everything.
面倒事を引き込む
Can't take 3 steps without finding
とりあ
trouble.
えず入れよ。荒木くん。実を言うと、今は僕珍しく取り込んでいてね。忙しくてあんまり時間がないんだよ。
What were you doing?
委員長ちゃんの一大事とくれば、ある程度の融通は聞かせるよ。触り猫。怪異ということで言うなら。
One of the 3 legendary cat spirits.
What was he burning though? What is he busy with? Why was Shinobu alone getting
荒木くん
donuts?
ならともかく、委員長ちゃんには言うまでもないことか。
おい、羽川のこと言うときに枕言葉のように荒木
They happen in tandem. You need to.
いや、僕もわざと言ってるわけじゃ
You're just easy to put down?
真実ってのは口についてるんだよね。
夜道に気をつけろよってめえ。
心配ご無用。僕は夜行性でね。 夜行性というなら猫もそうだっけ。
Look at the desks. They're back. Did we just knock her out?
羽川、自転車で委員長ちゃんに抱きつかれていたことに一切触れずにやっている僕に感謝の言葉があってもいいくらいだ。荒木くんがすでに事情聴取は終わってくれたらしいからね。
He asked his
おとといの
questions.
テレヤちゃんの件は荒木くんにとっていいパンチだったみたいだね。
戦国はテレヤちゃんかよ。
荒木くんが心得てきたおかげで僕がすることはほとんどなかったからね。ちょっと手順を省略した。
省略？
The explaining
時間が
part?
ないって言ったろ。委員長ちゃんに話を聞くよりは本人に話を聞いた方がいくらか手っ取り早い。
本人。
Skipping steps.
でも、
おっと。
Black Hanakawa!
What is this song? The laugh.
驚いたにゃに恋もせずに俺のご主人のおっぱいに浴場しやがったみたいで相変わらずお前はダメダメにゃ食い殺されたいのかに
What? That's a crazy ending, place.
Okay, that was Bakemonogatari season 1 episode 13. This just felt like the next episode, not something that is necessarily an OVA if that actually was the case, which is wild.
Why would Crunchyroll not have had this?
Yeah.
That's my, question with this. The only reason that I was like, oh, these next couple episodes, maybe there's something about them that isn't maybe canon storyline, was because normally I watch things on Crunchyroll, so I would trust that they would have all of the episodes, even the OVAs, so that's weird in itself. But the fact that it stops on Crunchy with last episode, why?
Yeah.
And after now watching this episode, I'm sure we're both in the same place of being like, why?
Yeah.
Why would this not be there?
The other odd thing about the Crunchyroll thing is when you were getting a thumbnail picture, you were showing me the quality of...
The quality is awful.
On Crunchyroll, which is really fascinating. I wonder what the history behind that is, if there is any, or what... I don't know. But regardless, I would like to read the opening title cards. They were cat ears.
They were cat ears. Thank goodness for that.
A pair of cute cat ears protruded from Hanekawa's little head.
Oh, we're complimenting her head size.
I stood silent, biting my lower lip. So hard, it started bleeding. Don't laugh. I'm sorry.
You just
I
laughed
just acted serious in getting her to do this, so I can't laugh. Delivering a moving speech to convince someone to do something and then bursting with laughter and making a fool of them when they actually do it is common manga cliche. But I've sworn never to do something like that. Still, these cat ears, they suit Hanekawa really well, as if they were tailor-made to go along with her neat, straight bangs. A thought I first had during Golden Week came back to me. She'd been born to wear a pair of cat ears on her head someday. That said, during the Golden Week nightmare, it was never Hanekawa as herself with cat ears. So that's why her present look was blowing me away.
Makes
Subordinate.
sense.
Ah, I see. This time the cat ears are black, the same color as her hair. I wonder if there is meaning in the idea that she sprouted the cat ears without having to become Black Hanekawa. I wonder if that is the natural progression of that stress being unresolved.
Right, is it worse now because we didn't fully resolve it? Was putting kind of a band-aid on it inevitably going to make the next time it happened be even harder to get rid of?
Yeah.
I believe just from when we got the first Tsubasa Cat episode, I figured it was during the day, she's just a normal girl, and then at night, she doesn't know this, but something takes over her body in the same way of Kanbaru, what happened with her, and just goes and drains energy from people. Not that she would have had to wear a hat during that week. I feel and Aragi's literally telling us here, pretty much confirmation of that this is the first time he's seen the cat ears on Hanekawa. That means that this is the first time this kind of transfusion of the two, they're almost becoming more linked here, maybe even more inseparable, more indistinguishable possibly.
I'm so fascinated to see what a conversation between Oshino and Black Hanekawa would look like, because as she portrays herself, she is a subordinate and Hanekawa is the master.
Subordinate body, that was
Yeah.
the title card.
And I imagine it would be easier to get truthful information about what Hanekawa's going through from Black Hanekawa. I imagine that
what the stress is, what the focus of the stress is, why she
has to be defensive on behalf of her master.
Her meowster.
Yeah. But what do you think is going to happen going forward? Because in terms of resolving stress, specifically what Hanekawa's going through, there's only a couple of options. One, just try to bite the bullet and hold out until finals are over, and then you can finally travel, and hopefully that alleviates something. But we're already at such a breaking point that something needs to be fixed, resolved, or changed.
I don't know if this is just me, but my focus in terms of wariness or worry is not on Hanekawa and Tsubasa Cat. That is not where any of my tension lies as a viewer at the moment from this episode. I think it's because of the repetition of continuous fixing of oddities with Araragi that I do not feel... It's almost like that's not where my mind is desiring to travel in terms of theorizing. Why is this different? How are we going to fix it? What is the stress? What's the culprit? All I can think of almost at the moment is the underneath narrative of what's going on with Oshino and how Araragi needs to start kind of sussing this stuff out by himself because Oshino has very little time. We talk about the vampires very specifically in this episode. We know that Shinobu was out. That's almost like I feel it's so hard to theorize what's going on with Hanekawa right now because I'm like, in my brain with the repetition of Bakemonogatari, I'm like, well, that's not the easy fix, but that's something that could be resolved within the next episode. But there's something underlying here that I feel like is going to take up more of the story.
Interesting.
Like something is coming, like something's building that's has more to do with our main character, maybe even of Araragi.
Yeah. I don't doubt that to be the case. I just wonder what fix or solution could possibly exist for Hanekawa.
No, I agree. I was just more so interested in my own brain here with the fact that sometimes when you're watching shows, you get very... there are certain shows that spook you more or freak you out more when they actually do kill a character. Because you're so used to a certain energy from a certain type of show where they'd always bring that character back to life or the wound wouldn't be grave enough that they would actually die. It's almost like that same place in my brain where I've gotten into a repetition with this show that I'm almost just not worried about Hanekawa, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna fix this. What's up? What's in our toolkit? What are we doing here?
It's assured that...
Yeah, it almost just feels... And maybe that's a place that the show intentionally is putting me in, is this security blanket place. We're gonna talk about traumas and stress and what that... physical manifestations of that through the usage of oddities and gods. So that's the emotional content of the show. But we're going to be doing that and showcasing it in a way that is cycling through a lot of different characters with a lot of different storylines and getting the viewer to really love them and care for them and fixing their problems through continuously showing you Araragi's selfish goals to be selfless.
I think that there's a small chance that they're connected in the sense that Araragi has this repaying that he feels he needs to do for Hanekawa.
He believes that he owes Hanekawa his life.
Yeah. And if that's the case, I think that there's added room for potential of those two things being connected. The Shinobu potential plot line.
The storylines, they do converge,
I mean,
for sure.
Shinobu was the energy drain that initially took away Black Hanekawa, no?
And we owe Shinobu some of our life as well. I love cat girls, so it just makes me happy that in the next episode we're gonna get to talk to Black Hanekawa, and we're gonna hear I really love the idea of, like, something within you, like, coming out and protecting you. Like a dark passenger, like something's going on that's able to kind of protect and save an innocent life in its own way, or at least attempt to.
It's just like
way.
I want to be in Hanekawa's mind for half a second, because in terms of Black Hanekawa coming right out and saying like, I know what the fuck you're looking at right now, Araragi, that tells me that in actual Hanekawa, it's like, I know what he's looking at, and I'm going to respond in a different way than Black Hanekawa does.
He's very obvious. I'm not surprised that he's being called out.
He's
and
not
Hanekawa,
subtle?
No. Hanekawa, you watched that Hachikuji part at the beginning of the he's not subtle. But Hanekawa does say things, like, bluntly, but her response then after she does is like, oh, that was mean. Like, when she brought up how, because of the vampire situation with Aragi, that's why he basically has compiled this harem of women and he's become so popular, is because of the charm from being a vampire. So she's different than Black Hanekawa, but I'm not sure to what degree the difference is. Like, is Black Hanekawa like a totally different personality? Or is it truly the internal thoughts of Hanekawa? Because we get a line, I believe, during the Hachikuji scene in this episode about certain things being Araragi's internal thoughts. Is that to kind of start leading us down the path of, like, are you who you are in your presentation to the world? We already know Hanekawa's the type of character to hide things from people in order to not be a burden to them. So is the character of Hanekawa, the studious class rep with the glasses, truly almost fictitious to some degree?
Yeah, when I was looking at the cat ears on regular Hanekawa, I imagine that both of them come from that same intake of thought and, emotion, but are expressed in different ways. And because of how much stress and time has passed, that version of Hanekawa that the school has, that she's number one in the class, is becoming Black Hanekawa in the sense of skipping school. Yeah, there's been research to see how little negative effect this day actually would have, and it's planned out in the same way that regular Hanekawa would, and Senjugahara's covering, but they did skip school over something.
That would be how I would skip school. I was not, like, as a student and high school years even, I was not the type to do anything bad or wrong. But if I was gonna skip school, it would have been with, like, a thought out plan. Like, okay, what were we learning today? Am I gonna miss anything that's gonna put me really behind in a certain class? Is there a test?
What do you think about the idea of the vampiric charm? Like, in trying to process it, I take it for what it is, but at the same time, when I'm thinking about what is so, lovable or charming about Araragi, it was something that existed before any type of vampiric, or it seems to have existed before any vampiric interaction or altercation, because it's just the desire to help people.
So last episode, Senjugahara tells us what she loves about Araragi. None of it comes from a place that gives any sort of essence of someone being under someone else's captivating charm.
Yeah.
It feels just very real. I think that what it makes me wonder is not if Araragi has some sort of magical charm now, but more so, how did his physical actions and the way he moves about the world actually change after he met Shinobu?
Yeah.
Was he someone who internally wanted to help people and never actually reached out his hand before then? And then after his interaction with the vampire, now he is the type that puts out a hand and tries to help other people? Is it like he became who he internally wanted to be through this process of feeling special and powerful and inhuman?
We do know that Nadeko had feelings well before, like when they were children. So that's an obvious example of it not being anything to do with the vampiric charm.
Like, I don't think it's the charm that would have got him Senjugahara. I think that it is plausible that through what he experienced, he has become the person that he is in his actions.
Yeah.
And that is something that she found attractive, was seeing the real him, or at least the he that he is now after he went through something.
I am staring at the card. Voice actress Saito Chiwa works for IM Enterprise, born in Saitama Prefecture, voices strong-willed women, weak women, lively girls, and even boys. Also voiced animals, non-human characters, eccentric roles that speak in a low voice, and other types of characters too. This is why I love Bakemonogatari. This is why I love Bakemonogatari.
Do you think the other voice actors are jealous of this? Imagine you were also a voice actor for this show, and you're like, why does she get a promo like this? Like, no, not me.
But this comes back into what I was saying in the discussion of last episode. You're telling me that in a manga, it's my voice actress is excellent, and then whether it to be a fictitious voice actress or a random famous one that you hope ends up
I hope it's in the manga. I hope that's a line from the. That's
it's just
hilarious.
So perfect.
It doesn't
Everything
have to be,
about
but if it is, that's hilarious. I think that this moment in the episode ties into the title cards with the idea like that would be a manga cliche, and then we have a few other lines like in this episode alone that are like that would be a manga cliche. Of course, Aragi must have gotten some vampiric charm in order to get all these women to be interested in him or want to be around him.
I love how Aragi was like, I haven't said anything like that yet about the praising of Sendagahara and the I love you.
And the sweet, freaking cute, wholesome moment of right after she looks at him with a knowing smile, he bikes away blushing, being like, yes!
What were you saying about there being an anime pillow somewhere?
Okay, it's, here's the timestamp that I want you to go to. And so we can look up on the balconies. It's 100% someone airing out. They just washed their like anime pillow. Yes.
Okay, I think you're right. I wonder
that's
if it's a specific
hilarious
reference to anything.
Everything else is just plain white sheets and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just happened in center screen. It's literally the center of the screen.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I love it. I liked Hanekawa's pajama hat outfit. I think it rolls. Shoes match.
Yeah, I think that this is my new favorite style of hat.
Yeah.
Like Nadeko has like a oversized version of it, and now Hanekawa was wearing it too, and I'm like, I am in love with this hat.
Hearing Hanekawa say I don't know anything was heartbreaking. It was devastating to me. It's such a comfort to hear her say I know what I know. Mm-hmm. That this was brutal.
I mean, it really brings up of like, is the Hanekawa class rep more of a fictitious creation of protection?
Yeah.
A face that you put to the world. And is that quip that she's been telling us from the very beginning purely part of that character that she's created? Is it true that really deep down she is maybe more self-conscious and more self-loathing? That she doesn't really believe that she's that smart or that she knows very much of anything at all?
If we don't get to see Shinobu eating a donut by the end of this series, I will never forgive the series.
I'm so sorry. Can I come back to that in a second?
Yeah.
I want to go back to the Hanekawa thing.
Of course.
I am reminded of a line where the only time she's ever broken from the I just know what I... Not broken from it, but the only time she's elaborated on the I just know what I know is that when she doesn't know something, she will go research it when she gets home.
Yeah.
And there's something about that now I'm viewing through a lens of fear and overcompensating. That fear of not being good enough, not knowing enough. You need to fill in all those blanks. Oh my God, someone asked you a question or talked to you about something and you couldn't contribute to the conversation enough. You need to immediately go home. And like now I view it as like a holy shit. Like, she went home, like, probably stressing about that. Like, oh my God, I need to go look that up.
I need to make sure that I know it. Yeah, exactly.
Why is she listening to people's letters on radio stations? Like, what is it that she's doing in her free time? Is she just consistently, like, terrified of people asking her questions that she doesn't know the answer to?
Yeah.
Okay.
But what led her from that into I don't know anything? Like, is it just the culmination of all of that stress at being burnout now?
Burnout or facing her, like, what is the reality is that she's just a normal girl who just knows whatever she's learning. She's not just this over average smart person. The reason that she aces tests, and if she doesn't, the test was at fault, is because she's overworking to such an extent.
Yeah.
Not because she was born superpower smart.
So was Hachikuji in this car on the highway?
That is a really great question, because like, why is this a random highway in a desert with a donut shop? Does a landscape like that exist in Japan?
I've never actually met her before, so I can't be sure. We see the car approaching Mr. Donut, and then we get Hachikuji saying, I think I saw her walking around yesterday. Hachikuji must have been in the car. I saw her by herself around 5 in the afternoon at the donut shop by the highway. If we don't, we need to see her eat a donut by the end of the series. I'm going to be livid if we don't.
But why was she... Aragi's next lines is much more about, like, her being by herself. Did Oshino really let her do this or give her permission to do this? It does not surprise him that it's donuts, but more so the fact that she was by herself and what's going on there.
I think that Oshino is focused on something else. Shinobu saw her opportunity. Oshino didn't give her donut, so she had to go get donut
like
while
one of those
Oshino was
things,
busy.
like, she was like, where are these donuts? And he's like, nah, you're gonna have to go get them for yourself today, or I'm too busy.
Yeah.
And then she goes, I'm gonna go get my own donuts.
That's what I'm
like
thinking.
Something as innocent as that, but like, I mean, that innocence can lead to issues, because if she is running wild, if you will, not really wild, but if she's going out unsupervised and Oshino is too busy, is there going to be an issue with the fact of how busy he is?
I do wonder
what he was doing.
What he was burning. What if this is like the connection to another Monogatari series? Like, we came to Oshino, or a different cast came to Oshino with something, and
it's a multiverse.
Yeah, and we get to see it now. Just vaguely.
A different dimension, Araragi came here, and now this Oshino is burning something for him.
Oshino's character design is so fucking cool.
He still is like, I don't know if he's my favorite character, but he's definitely, I hope that he's in the other Monogatari series.
I kind of want to try to do like an Oshino cosplay for Halloween. That'd be such a good costume to put on, no?
I 100% would want to be Nadeko.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I love her hat. She's adorable.
Do you have anything else?
Anything else?
How could you not have watched this episode? Like, that's what I'm coming back to.
That I'm just still really extremely confused about. There was a funny line of like, Aragi can't take 3 steps without finding trouble.
True.
It's very true. A scene I really liked was Araragi telling Hanakawa in a certain instance, like, get angry.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that he would rather repay the debt of feeling like he owes his life to someone, that's more important to him than keeping the good favor of Hanakawa.
Definitely.
Like, he will literally risk someone hating him as long as he feels like at the end of the day he could help them.
Yeah.
And that's something he's shown us before. And I just think that that's a really nice line. Like, get angry. Like, okay, like, you're allowed to feel emotions.
Mm-hmm. Let it out.
Let it out.
Yeah.
Like, if this makes you angry, like, it's, and imagine saying it to that type of character, Hanakawa, what we've been unpacking about her, that she doesn't want to make people worry. She doesn't want to be a burden. She wants to seem put together, even keel, laid back, almost even. Someone that you could go to and trust that's not going to have extreme emotions. But he's giving her permission here to have emotions.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's even more profoundly important, that line, other than just surface value being a cheeky, cute, but also sweet line.
It's just such in her nature to, like, change subject or just, like, keep the conversation moving in a different direction. Like, not to let the idea of her letting it out or getting mad be dwelled on too long by either party.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that I'd want to bring up is that Araragi has shown us in this episode something that fits his character to do, which is once he heard from Oshino that idea that he needs to be able to kind of not rely on Oshino too much, he took it.
Yeah.
He literally listened. Like, he was like, Oshino's right. I've been relying on him too much. If this is something I'm going to continue to want to do, which is help other people, especially with oddities, then I need to start learning some of this stuff myself.
Yeah.
And Oshino even thanked him for it, basically, with the idea of, like, we're able to skip steps now. We are in a time crunch, or at least Oshino is with whatever he's doing, and we're able to skip steps now thanks to Araragi already having sussed out the situation.
Yeah. Since I have it pulled up, I want to replay it just to potentially show the significance of Hanekawa, like, diverting or changing subject of her being able to let out emotions. Even if you get angry at me or come to hate me as a result, I can endure it. And, like, you can see her kind of, like, break character a little bit here, but then it switches back to, like, endure, huh?
And
Well,
then
aren't
just
you
back
cheeky?
to, like, a smile.
Yeah, am I? And then it's like something out of character as like a distraction. Who the heck does this wise guy think he is?
And
Because
then
of
he
course
says that-
Aragi would change subject.
Mhm.
Like that's something a bully would say.
would say.
Interesting.
Well, this episode was purely just Aragi showing his humanitarianism at its best.
Yeah.
And it was a good episode, and I will forever wonder why this episode seemingly is not available on Crunchyroll.
Yep.
Can you imagine people who didn't do their, like, research, if you will, about how to watch this series, and
Us
they
if
just
we didn't
watched
have
it?
Fucking
Us
awesome
if we
people
didn't have help.
us. Yeah.
Then people would have watched Crunchyroll and they would have just stopped
Yeah.
at episode 12. That's a shame.
Uh-huh.
Someone needs to do something about that. Those poor people.
I want to make Shinobu standing outside of that
The
donut
donut
shop
shop.
some profile picture of mine.
Her character design is adorable.
All right. That's all I have you.
I think that's all I have.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I hope to see you next time.